Hi, I'm Kyle Cease, and if you're interested in working with me and my team in a one-on-one private coaching or in a group private coaching, stop everything, invest 30 minutes of your time, and watch this entire video. Hi there. If you're watching this video, that means you're in the private coaching section, which for me means one of two things. You're either incredibly ambitious and one of the few people on this planet who really want to access something in yourself and want to make yourself better. You want to work with me and hopefully find in you something that maybe either you can't see, or find permission to let go of something that you're holding on to, or just find all the different things that you're capable of and access in you a higher greatness, a totally different type of impact, a new level of creativity, a different income, and you want to affect the world, which is really exciting. So you're either that type of person or you're horrifying. Like, you've gone through all the videos and you're like, I need to get closer to Kyle. And there have been a couple people like that. And so I might be really excited to work with you because you might be the greatest alignment in the world, or I'll be filing a restraining order on you eventually this year. Isn't that cool? One of two things will happen. I'll either be helping you access your greatness, or we'll be in court. So I'm hoping that you're one of the first people. And I want to talk to you about what we do offer as far as private coaching. We pride ourselves on making as many different things that we can that can affect people at every level. We like to make videos for YouTube and Facebook that can affect people by the millions. We like to make, we're working on a book. We like to do podcasts, radios, different things like that. We like to do events in giant groups, doing our big 1,400 seat event, Evolving Out Loud. We like to create different products and different things that people can have that really can help them access their soul. We have the Evolve the Complete Journey package, which in a way is kind of like having a little bit of me working with you in a private way, but it's a video and it's a different exercise each day. And then this is the only thing we do that is our only hands-on group or even private coaching. In a way, there's a one-on-one aspect to this. There's one thing we do, and we do it with only 4 people. We do it once a month. And it's really exciting. What it is it's called the Flow Group. And how Flow Group works is we select 4 people. Now, these people we select, of course, many people are eligible, but what we're really looking for are people who understand and know, without even necessarily knowing the specifics, that there's greatness inside of them, that there's a legendary status waiting to be supported and pulled out of you, that there's something you could be already on a flow and in fire, and you could be in a flow and on fire. If you're on fire, stop the video and put it out. If you're dry and you're not on fire, continue watching. But if you're in life on fire, in a figurative way, and you're in your flow and you want more, then you might be someone who's totally qualified for this. If you're someone who realizes without knowing the specifics that there's a calling in you, there's a greatness in you, there's something in you that you understand has to be released into the world, that you're here to make the world better, that there's something, but you might not even know what it is, this is also for you. A lot of times people come to us to work on their issues, like working on their anxieties or addictions and stuff like that. And absolutely, we can do that. But what we've discovered is that when you work on your soul, when you work from your calling, when you work from your heart, very often those things go away. Because what often causes anxiety and often addictions is not listening to that core thing in you and not creating from that place. And a lot of times when you're not in your highest calling, your body is telling you to do one thing and your mind is justifying why you're not, so you're in chaos with yourself. So a lot of times when people come to our flow groups and work with us, they might have anxiety, they might have addictions, they might have fears, they might have issues, but we don't kind of think, well, let's work on that issue. Instead, we work on what's calling you and help you create that. And the byproduct is those issues often go away, or at least get very minimized. So Flow Group is a really exciting thing, and as I said, we only do it once a month, and we do it with 4 people. And how it works is we get a place in Woodland Hills, California. We get an Airbnb, and we get a huge place that is just both beautiful outside and inside. And 4 people come and work with us for 2 full days. They're mainly working with me, but my team's also there as a support in many different ways too. In the first hour, what we do is I talk to each person individually and go through what they're going through. We talk through what they feel in them, what they're scared of, all these different things. And usually within the first hour with each person, we start finding these underlying beliefs that they didn't know that they were moving from, that were the underlying driver of them, which a lot of times stems from our childhood. You might realize, I don't feel worthy of something, or I feel broken because my dad, left all the time, or I might have these things. And a lot of times we're trying to create things out of our fixing of our pain and our story that's not necessarily true. It's just a belief. So when I work with people, often I'll hear them go, well, I got to get this done and I got to get this done. And I'll realize why. Because you're under the illusion when you get that done that you're going to be loved. And what we want to do is, first of all, in the first hour or two, identify all these lies that are in our body that are what we're moving from. It's a crazy experience because you just talk to people and you start to realize they don't realize that they might just be capable of even being more by not being so ambitious and just accepting this moment and accepting themselves. So within the first couple hours, you start to learn how to accept yourself. And this I gotta fix kind of fear-based method that a lot of people are in goes away, it starts to dissolve. So then we start to look at how to access that even deeper. So for the rest of the day, we have many different exercises and different things that people do, but it's all in a one-on-one or our minimal group, small group way of helping people break through their barriers and continue to move more and more and more into their heart and out of their head. As people move more into their heart, they start to access this incredible flow that they don't realize they had. Sometimes our fears and our beliefs are like a dam that's stopping this crazy flow from coming out. And every human being has this flow. Everyone we've worked with at the Flow Group, we've discovered has a flow base thing, a constant new idea, a just, excitement and a passion. When you undo this fear of what people think of you and you access yourself and you undo this lie that you're not worthy and you realize you're just this moment, by the end of the day, you will have accessed the why in you. You will access this crazy thing because most people go into Flow Group starting off from a how. They're like, how do I get this company to work? How do I move this way? How implies that the method of doing it is bigger than what you are. And the more you access yourself, you realize that it's the why that you want. And you start to learn how to work through stuff from a why place. I have to get this message out because it's my calling. I have to help people because it'll help people realize that they can live longer, that they can be free, that they can not be in that bad relationship, or that they can, whatever it is, that every human being, when they're in a why, they can move from a place of absolute passion. The greatest in the world move from a why. The way they speak comes from a why. It's not in a how. They're not just talking about what is, they're talking about what could be. And there's a reason behind what they're saying all the time. When you access your why, you will access a part of you that can change the world, that's totally original, that stops these old beliefs that you have to compartmentalize all your things and come up with the right way to do it. That leaves and you start to access this real you. This real you can create an entire new life, a new income, a new everything. When people access their why, it's something that you can never go back from. So by the end of day one, you're in a place that you realize is your greatness. And once you realize this, you now have an awareness of that. So after you leave Flow Group, you can't go back from that. You're going to live from your why. And the second you go back, you're going to realize you're not in your why. And you're going to be going, I got to go back to my why. And you're going to start falling in love with yourself and accessing new parts of you. And you're going to always be in a state of evolution after Flow Group, where every single day you're going to be seeing life at the end of the day different from how you saw it in the beginning. And your energy is going to change, and your soul's going to change, all kinds of stuff. And you're going to realize that all you are is change. All you are is infinite possibility. You're not your story even from 10 minutes ago, that you are a constant flow of possibility. And the more you realize that you're just this moment, the more you can receive, the more worthy you are. For instance, and I said this in another video, if you see yourself as I'm someone who makes $40,000 a year, which is only based on your past, right? But people go, that's who I am. Well, if someone offers you $1 million, that's death to who you are. So people sabotage huge opportunities because it's too scary. They'd have to break out of the story of who they are. But if you comprehend that you're just this moment and you embody that and you do the work, which you'll do at Flow Group, you create a situation where your worthiness factors through the roof, and you don't stop yourself from great things anymore, from both creating great things or receiving great things. So that's just day one. Day two, you will do different things to create, now that you're in a why, now that your floodgates are open, now that you have an infinite amount of possibilities coming out of you, now we bring in the hows. Because now that you're in a why and you're doing this amazing thing, now we go, okay, now there's an infinite amount of hows. Hows aren't bad, but the why, when you're in a why, it creates a bed for an infinite amount of hows. So for instance, I have so many things that we do, but it's because there's a reason behind what I do. So as I put my voice out there, we do podcasts, we do books, we do all these different things. And even if you're already in an established company or you have no idea what you're going to do with your life, adding a why to it is going to add more to what you're currently doing. You can bring it into what you're already doing, or just do these other things, or create your own field, or create a side thing, or give yourself permission to let go of the things that you only held on to because you thought who you were was your past. So now we're in day two, and we start looking at ways to take this infinite how, or this infinite why, and then structure it so that you can leave here with a whole new identity, a whole new possibility, a whole new way to create business for yourself, or to create just even a passive income. You know, we have this amazing opportunity in this time with YouTube and podcasts and the ability to write many people on Facebook and different social media outlets, that you now don't have to wait for a circumstance to happen for you to become successful. In fact, it's just you believing that you have to do that that's stopping you. But if you are in your why, you will start to just put your stuff out all over the place, and you will start to create a lot of abundance for yourself. But as we do the how, we can structure this and kind of tighten up the why that's coming out of you and put a direction to it. So we like to contain this and create a direction for you so that when you leave Flow Group, you're in a place of infinite possibility. Now, the reason that we only work with 4 people a month is because the people that we work with, we want them to leave and actually experience true transformation. If we were working with 50 people a month, obviously we wouldn't be able to make sure, we'd just be doing a numbers game. But we want to work with people that are ready. So when you leave Flow Group, we create a way that you are accountable for your success. You create a different exercise that you're going to do each day, or basically continue to access whatever you need to do to put you in a place of being. So for the next 30 days, you might do a different meditation or a different exercise, or a flow-based exercise. We'll create that together at the Flow Group. But then after 30 days, one of our teammates will contact you and check up on you. It might be me, but someone on our team will check up on how you're doing, and then we'll give you some notes on how to do that. And then we're going to check up on you on 60 days, and then again in 90 days. What this will do is create an entire new life. Once you go to 2 days of understanding all these things, it's like leaving the matrix for 2 days and then going back in. Once you see inside that this whole thing's an illusion, all you're going to want to do is figure out more about how to be your greatest outside of the matrix. And that's what we do. We pull you outside of this lie that you have going on in your head and into your infinite creativity. And then we give you an exercise every day for the next 90 days that you're going to do every day. And then we're going to continually check up on you and make sure you're doing it. Once you do that, you will have created an entire new pattern and a new habit. And as you do that, you have infinite new new possibilities. Now, almost nobody does this. Almost nobody works on their soul. There's just very few people that really show up and access their soul. But I believe this is what actually makes people very successful and very fulfilled in their hearts. Because for the last 5 years, I have spent so much of my time, energy, money, and everything in discovering who I am. You know, we waste so much money on things like just 12 packs of beer and things that, you know, lattes and all this stuff. And we sit here and go, well, I don't have enough money. But the reason is because we're spending money on things that aren't going to fulfill us. They're actually just kind of holding you at the level of your addiction. And what I've discovered is as I find more and more about what I am and I access my infinite creativity, I discover that I am an infinite source of money. And I was taught one time at an event to think of money as a seed. Think of money as a seed. And if you have 5 seeds, $5, and you just buy a latte with it, that could have been 5 forests. Now, I'm not saying don't buy those things if you want them, but make sure that you take some of that and start off by investing in the most important thing in the world, yourself. Because every person is just sitting on a box of gold and they aren't opening it. And they're going, oh, I don't have any money. You're sitting on a box of gold. You're an infinite source of creativity. You're an apple tree, and all you have to do is access that. So what we do at Flow Group is help people make sure that they access this infinite source of possibility, and then help them hone it towards a new business or towards their current business and towards all the other aspects of their life, their health, their relationships, their everything. So if you're interested in doing the Flow Group, here's how it works. This is our only way to do it because we can only take 4 people a month, and we get hundreds of people a week writing us, talking to us about how do I work with you in different ways. And it's a real honor to get that. And we want to work with people that really are ready and believe in themselves and are ready to invest in themselves. We aren't looking for people that are looking to be skeptical or looking to stop this or stop their own flow or come in and make we want people that are going, I'm ready for that calling in me. I know that every person has the potential to become a Martin Luther King or a Jim Carrey or whatever your unique thing is. But often I talk to people who don't know that, and they don't believe that. And they actually want to argue with me and prove to me that they're less amazing than I see them as. We aren't interested in that. If you're interested in just disproving this amazing stuff and keeping yourself in your small box, we're not interested. But if you know that there's something in you, even if you don't know the specifics and you feel this calling, we want to meet you and we want to know about it. And the Flow Group is the best way for us to do it in the most efficient way and the most timely way. So what we're going to do is ask you, if you're truly interested in this, to make a video. And in that video, I want you to just ask some questions, and I want you to just tell us some of those questions. Some of the questions could include, why do I want to do this? What is in me that I can't see? What would life be like? Just kind of think of questions like this. What would life be like if I did this? What would happen to me and the people around me if I access that truth? What am I willing to leave behind if I do this? What would happen if I left that old story and I accessed this new me? You know, think of questions like that. What would I feel? What would I experience? What would be other things that I'm not even seeing that I would let go of if I access this greatness? Like, people don't realize when they're in their heart, they might suddenly not have all these different addictions anymore because they suddenly are passionate about life and not doing that. So you might realize, you know, you'll save a ton of money on different things that you might have been wasting your money on. I have one client that I worked with who discovered when he was in a job that he didn't like, that he was also spending an extra $86,000 a year on different things just to keep himself either fulfilled or healthy, because he wasn't being healthy because he was so against what he was doing. So he's spending $86,000 a year on stuff like blood pressure medication and, you know, therapy and all these different things that he was in only because he wasn't thriving on his favorite things. So when he finally left his job and did what he loves to do, all those things stopped being expenses in his life. So he saved a ton of money right off the bat just by being in his soul and didn't know that. So as you're making the video for us, ask yourself, what are the things that could show up that I can't see right now? And really sit and see what life would be like after that. And then I want you to end it with one other thing. We do an exercise called Kailego. And Kailego is where you talk about life after you did it. So I would love for you to riff into your creativity and make a video as if it's now 90 days later, after you've done a flow group. And you just allow yourself to do this wrong, allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be creative and authentic, and just play and talk to us in the video. Now that it's 90 days later, I'm much healthier, and I've now created this business this way, and I'm making videos for people everywhere, and we've collected 3 million views, and people are so impacted by me, and I got this one letter. Just let yourself make believe what life would be like after it's 90 days later. When you're done with that video, what we're going to ask you to do is send it to Kara@kylecease.com. Kara is spelled Kara @kylecease.com. And just chill for a second, because we got a lot to look at. And Kara will contact you. And then I'm going to see your video also. And we're going to look at you, and we're going to hear your story. And if you truly have that passion, and you truly want this, and you're really feeling this calling in you, and you're really interested in doing this, and you're really ready, we're going to call you, and we're going to qualify you, and we'll put you in one of our upcoming events. Remember, there's only 4 people a month, so there could be a waiting list for this. We want to co-create with different people who are ready to access their greatness. We're not here to just coach people and let them go do whatever. We want people that we can work with later. You know, another thing that I'll tell you that happens from people that leap and come into our flow groups is very often we end up putting them on our stages, or I end up putting them in sketches that we're doing, or I end up just retweeting them and promoting them to my amazing following. But our rule is you have to be in your alignment. And what flow group is to get you into your alignment. In other words, if you're in a place where you're not in your alignment, you might be like, hey, can you do this? And can you put me on your stage? And can you do this? That's because you think that those things will complete you. We want you to be in a place where you understand that you are complete first, that you don't need anything, that you are an amazing person. And when you move from a place of being already complete, you won't believe how many things come right to you. Because the number one thing an audience wants, a date wants, or a potential new boss wants, or a customer wants, is someone who's already connected to themselves, who doesn't need something to be happy. And we're here to help people get in their alignment with themselves so that they understand they're complete and move from a place of totally being complete. That's why Flow Group is so special, because when you leave there, everyone's in their alignment and understands I don't need something to be happy. And in that space, so many things are finally safe enough to come to you. You're complete as is, so you're capable of receiving new incomes and new possibilities and new jobs and new clients and new relationships and new health and all kinds of stuff, because you're not fighting yourself anymore or grabbing for something out of desperation. That's why Flow Group is one of the most magical things that we do. And my team and I, just every time we're done, we're kind of shocked. We're like, I can't believe what just happened. And that person is going to so access that thing. And it always happens. When we see our clients later, they really did have a shift and their entire life is different. We have one client who's finishing a book right now, calling us going, can you give us a testimonial? And we have client after client who's like, I just created this company, or I've created this entire new thing. And people discover that what they're good at is something they were already good at. In other words, what could be their business could be, well, I just gossip all day. Cool, you could have a business. Like, oh, I don't do anything. I just watch TV. Cool, you could have a business. Like, what you do naturally is your purpose. You don't have to go find your purpose. You need to accept what you're doing, that all the time you're doing, and it's just your unconscious way of being. That's monetizable. That's your gift. That's what you do when time leaves. So what if you could do it in a way and create your own business from it? That doesn't have to be the way that we do it, but as we work with people, we find either that they can use their skills to what they're already doing is a gift for the world, or we can find and create one out of thin air. But every time you show up, you enter a space of co-creating. And you don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen. But to show up and get off of Facebook for a couple days and get off of Netflix and start actually creating something and not consuming, but tapping into yourself is something that you will never go back from. You will realize that you're an infinite being. And so that's how Flow Group works. So if you want to join us, we would love to work with you. But as I said, we ask for people who are really ready for this and ready to leap, because we want to work with people and support them in their becoming amazing leaders on this planet. And that's what Flow Group is for. So if you want this, make a video kind of answering some of those questions that I mentioned earlier, and do the Kallego exercise where you talk about life after you've done Flow Group. What's life like 90 days later? You're now this person that what? You've now got a much better relationship, or you've created this whole book series, or what is it? Give us that. We'd love to hear your story of what you did after you were done, even if you've never done it yet. So this is your chance to be in make-believe with yourself and creative, imagination and creative flow. And I want to see what you have to say. And I want to work with people who are ready. So that's Flow Group. And when you're done with the video, as I said before, send it to Kara, Kara, @kylecease.com. And I can't wait to work with you.